Right, let's address something that actually a bit more contentious, because I know it's got personal elements for you.
Yeah.
Your role in 9/11.
Yeah.
Now, some people are trying to say that you never went there, that this is all a joke, that you were there for, or if you went, you're supposedly there for months on end at Ground Zero, blah, blah, blah. Well, the reality is that people that's met you and talked to you about this, and I've talked to Sue McAllister, your ex-wife, she confirms that you did attend, but now in your own words, put into context how often you went, in what context you went, and some of the things that you did.
Yeah, well, I read, Mr. Robbins' kind of really ugly thing about that, and like I was living I was born in the Bronx, so I've heard I wasn't, but I was, as my sister as well, the misrecording a hospital that doesn't exist anymore, and there you go there. But these people are kind of sick. But anyway, 9/11, and what Peter didn't mention is, unlike him, I had family directly involved in the attacks.
Explain that, in what context?
Not to name names, one of my brothers worked in Tower 2 and was on street level when the first plane passed through Tower 1. Yeah. And he was there, and he was injured to a degree, and my sister-in-law now, but they weren't married then, they were together, worked for a law firm in Manhattan, and she went through it, and they don't talk about it much. And I was indeed living in Liverpool. It's like some big thing. Of course I was. And as soon as we could fly, I went home, and I went down. First of all, I was involved with an organization here that wanted me to bring things to help fundraise, which you've seen evidence of. I'm not going to
talk about that in a minute.
Yeah, because so I delivered certain things over to the police and the FDNY. And I had to do this, which is the fact, so I can go around it, whether they do or not. It's not important. These are private persons. But I remember my family was a federal person. Yeah. And so I had access to everywhere. And,
so basically you had somebody on the inside who was working Ground Zero who could get you occasional access.
Working the investigation of the attacks.
Okay. Okay, so using
like you did with the 7th.
Yeah. Okay, so he clearly was able to get you onto the site. Yeah. So you made how many trips did you make over?
4.
4 trips over how long a period?
Between October and March of 2001.
Okay. So and like you just referenced, that you took certain objects over there that could be maybe used to raise money, raffle and whatever. Yeah. Now, there are some photographs of you with at Ground Zero.
Ground Zero.
I can reference the fact that an early meeting that we've had, that I have actually seen several of these photographs. One of which is you clearly in Ground Zero, or with the federal person who got you into there, and then another one where you have got an item, a police memorabilia, that's a British police memorabilia that's been handed to, I think, a fire service.
Police department. I can tell that story. It was a Bobby helmet. What do you call it?
A policeman's helmet, British
Bobby's helmet. And the
Yeah.
firearm unit. I knew a guy in the firearm unit of the Merseyside Police. And he said, when you're going over, I want to do a number of different things with this that I could, because it's my hometown also, not just Peter's. And, you know, and I had not just that, high school friends that were involved and an ex-girlfriend that vanished and almost killed my own brother. I noticed Peter didn't mention I had family in it, but there's an agenda, isn't there? So I was compelled, and it was shocking to us, but more so if I watched them build, you see the building. Yeah. And so I went, and my son's mother, it was very, you know, they understood. It just affected everyone, didn't it?
But your son, how old would your son have been?
Baby. He was 6 months old.
And again, when this came up, I deliberately spoke to Sue privately away from you and asked her about it. You didn't know that.
I spoke to her today.
And she said, he went, and even though Dennis was a baby, it was something he had to do. So, you know, again, it adds the context. So just to clear up, you weren't there for months on end.
No.
How could you be when you were a parent and you were living in England?
Well, I had a job here to do, but I would go back and forth. And like I said, I did it 4 times through November. And I witnessed certain things go on there that I won't go into. It was amazing and horrible, particularly in March. And I had access, as you know, why. And no one needs to know why.
Right.
And but the main thing is the police helmet, what that was, I was given it by the firearm unit, and I took it over. And I presented it. I had a friend that was with the 5th Precinct in Lower Manhattan.
And I've seen that photograph where you handed it over to the
guy. Yeah, that's the lieutenant in that precinct, and probably long retired. And that's at the desk, you know, she go in like Barney Miller, the show. And what they did, we wanted to auction it any way they could, you know, or raise money. And what they ended up doing in reality was building a display case for it and keeping it.
As a keepsake.
Sure. And I was given tons of the Merseyside police had new patches.
Yeah, badges.
At that time, it was a new one. And I was given hundreds of them. And I distributed them to cops on site all
and that's
the time.
what cops do.
And all that. And I did it as a rep for them, not being a police, but representing them. But I do have family there in law enforcement. Yeah. And there's little things you could do. And they actually didn't auction that helmet. They actually have it in their precinct to this day. And again, that's not me. It was me being the emissary. That with the documentation from over here, etc. And that was a little tiny thing. I did another thing where a piece of a drawing by a certain person that I valued very much, and I sold that. And I sold it through, in the course of the film, you're aware of a certain auction, a real auction house, and where that was with the blessings of Yoko Ono that raised money for the 9/11 family.
All right, that's interesting.
And that you know that anyway, that's in the movie. We're part of it, I think we talked about. And there's the little things you could do. And the fact to be there, because it was just so unreal, but the real motivation is they almost killed my brother.
Yeah.
And that is not in Peter's attack on me being the lowest of the low, because as far as I know, he didn't have a family member that was almost killed in it. I did.
Yeah. So 9/11 is not
and he's doing very well now, thank you.
Yeah.
So he's a successful guy.
So in effect, 9/11 was not just an horrific thing for someone from New York. This had a personal involvement.
Came through my family's front door that day.
Which Peter didn't even.
It didn't come through his front door.
Here's a question. On the 4 occasions you went, am I right in thinking that Peter lives in upstate New York?
You know, at times he was.
Did you meet him on any of those 4 occasions?
Yeah, we took him out to dinner at the Hard Rock Cafe, and I have pictures of us on 50.
So you're saying on one of the 4 occasions you went over in that period to 9/11, you actually engaged and had a meal with Peter, which he never referenced.
I invited him down to Ground Zero, and he wouldn't go. The place was burning when I was there.
Yeah,
a month later. It was still burning then.
Yeah.
And the smell of death, I remember, I smoked, thank God, and my sister came down one time, she said, I can't stay here. And, but at the end of it, we took Peter out to the Hard Rock Cafe on 57th Street, my first time over, and, that night, and then he was very busy with Central Park Media and all.
So
I have pictures of us that night at dinner.
Okay, that would be interesting to see that.
I have pictures of him and I with all the American flags on the streets. Sure.
But the point I'm making there is that during one of those 4 occasions, you spoke with Peter, but Peter makes no reference.
I saw him every time I was over.
All right, so each of the 4 times you saw Peter, and he makes no reference to this in his later attacks.
No, it doesn't mention I had a family member and family members involved.
So, like I say, this gives you an opportunity to. This has given you an opportunity to put things into context.
No, just reality. I mean, I don't think he knows this to be truth. I don't know why he says such things, but he'll have to live with it.
Well, that's for him.
That's for him to dance with.
Yes.